To begin this project, you will break your clay into 3 small pieces. One will be very small, one will be medium-sized, and one will be large. You might need to twist your clay to break it into the smaller pieces. Next, we will begin rolling a big ball that will become the base of our snowman. Roll the ball between the palms of your hands in a circular motion. Next, we will roll the medium-sized ball. This time, we will again roll between the palms of our hands, and after just a little bit of rolling, it should be pretty much ready to put together. Squish it down and make sure you push firmly so that it doesn't fall off. As you push the parts of your snowman together, you might need to reshape them. It is just fine to make adjustments as needed. This is how we problem solve in art. Next, we will roll our smallest ball between our palms and stick it onto the very top of our snowman to create the head. You can now see the basic shape of our snowman is coming together. Make any necessary adjustments before moving on to the next step. Next, we will add our face. We will add 2 dots for eyes and a series of dots in a small curve to make the mouth. You can decide if you want yours to be smiling or have a different expression. Next, we will use an orange marker to dye some clay to create the nose of our project. I will give you a new piece of clay to use for this step. Color the orange marker onto a small flat piece of clay, then squish it like a taco and keep coloring. Squish the clay between your fingers until the white clay has turned light orange in color. Next, roll the clay between your fingers and begin to create a point by pinching the end of the clay to look like the tip of a carrot. Pinch and twist as much as you need. If you need to make your clay piece smaller, you can always pinch some off the end as well. Once you have a shape that you're happy with, we will stick it carefully onto the center of our snowman's face. Next, we will use one last small piece of clay to make a matching hat and scarf for our snowman. The first thing we will do is dye the clay to be the color you would like the hat and the scarf to be. That is your decision as the artist. In this case, I will make mine blue. I flattened my clay into a cookie, and now we'll fold it in half like a taco and begin squishing it around so that the ink gets into all of the clay. Keep squishing it around until all of your clay is the color that you need. Now that my clay is dyed, I will begin rolling it into a coil or a worm shape. I will break off a small piece to make the base of my hat. Next, I will roll it between my hands and then squish it flat like a cookie. We have done this a few times during this project when we were dyeing our clay, but this time we will use that cookie to become the base of our hat. Next, we will roll a small piece of clay to become the top portion of our snowman's top hat. We will roll a ball and then gently squish it between 2 fingers to flatten out the top and the bottom. As you flatten the top and bottom, you may want to use 2 fingers around the sides to help keep it nice and rounded. Next, squish the top part of the hat to the bottom, and you will see that you now have the look of a top hat. Gently push it onto the head of your snowman. Try not to squish the round shape of the snowman, and try not to touch the eyes because you don't want to accidentally smear them. Last, we will make the snowman's scarf. Roll the clay between your fingers to create another long worm shape. Next, begin pinching this worm shape to make it nice and flat like a scarf. Keep pinching until you get a nice, long, flat shape. Once you have flattened out your scarf, carefully begin wrapping it around. It might be nice to begin by leaving a little bit of extra hanging down, just like you would with a regular scarf. As you wrap around, make sure that you don't cover up your snowman's face. Once you're happy with the way that your scarf is laying, you can gently flatten it down to the snowman. Next, you can choose to add arms to your snowman if you want. Choose from the cut pipe cleaners which colors you would like to use. It might be best to have matching arms, but you can make your decision. Next, gently poke them into the middle section of your snowman. If they look too long at first, don't worry, we can always trim them down later. Gently poke them through and try not to poke all the way through the body of your snowman. When you're done, they can be trimmed if needed. Last, it is a good idea to make sure that your snowman will stand. Gently push him down to the table to make sure that it has a nice flat bottom and will be able to stand.